Hello, I'm Gene Pasquini with ChamberWare. Today we're going to do a brief demonstration on our version 7 software, show you in particular the emailing and invoicing features. So let's take a brief look now. We'll open a members form to start with, and we can move over to the members tab. And here's the new email button. We've tried to keep things as simple as possible without doing any changes for change's sake, so that you'd have as little learning curve as possible. So we can press this button now, open the new email form. And here you see the basic emailer and the three parts that are used in an email: the subject, the body text, and then your recipient list. We actually just have the one because we just gave this button a single click here. So let's take a look at these features. In particular here, if you double click this label subject, you can add a merge field or a personalized subject line. Let's do that. And there you see it. We have this Hi Dear name, and we're logged in here now on the Hometown Chamber of Commerce's database. So it will put your chamber name in here. But the Dear name is of course the familiar name that a rep might have. If you'd like to see what any Dear name is for a member, you can of course right click the member screen and then select the See Mailing Label option. And this is the label that would be used if, for instance, you were going to print a set of labels for the database. And this is what the label looks like. And down here is the Dear name. And in this case it says Bill. That's because we have a familiar name in here. If we didn't have this familiar name, then it would say Dear William. So the familiar name overrides as far as the Dear name is concerned. Okay, we'll switch back over to here and to our email. Of course you can put in your text down here, and then you have all these options to modify the text: bold, italic, underline, and so forth, and you can select from any number of fonts, change the font size and what have you. In fact, you can load an HTML file that you may have had. You can create it in some other program or right here in ChamberWare. Let's load one now so it has some text in it. And we have this one here, ChamberWare demo text, so I created that one earlier. And here is the body of the email, and we see it's got the Dear name field in here again. So this one's going to say hi, and then it's going to say Hi Bill. And then it shows the text here, and you can modify the text like I've done here using these controls, just as any normal HTML editor. And then when you're ready to go ahead and press send, and out it goes. So now we have 0 recipients, of course, and the recipient list has been cleared. Let's take a look at it over in Outlook. And here we see the email. Notice the subject line has the Hi Bill as the subject, and it put in the changes that we made here. You can put in, of course, any subject that you like. If we take a look at the email, we see it was addressed Hi Bill, and that's because it also used the merge field here, and then the rest of the email as we had sent it. So let's click that, and we'll delete this now and go back into ChamberWare. So now we see that we've sent this email because we have no recipients left. But let me show you another handy feature. For instance, if you wanted to send an email to all this member's reps, you can shift click this button to send the email to all this member's current reps. So let's shift click. Notice that it entered 3 recipients now. That's the 3 reps that this member has. Also, there's an email address here. And if you'd like to add that, instead of shift clicking, we can control click this button, and it adds all 4, and this uses the member's email address that you see here. So you can get all the members' reps, including an email to the member email address, by using control click for this button. And if you wanted to remove an individual rep, you could just select them there, and let's right click, and we can remove that recipient. We can also add a recipient by typing one into this list, remove one, or clear the entire list. We'll just remove this recipient, and then we'll control click this button that puts them in again. And just so you see how that works, let's remove all the reps from here, and one single control click adds all the members' reps and includes an email for their member address here. So one of the nice things you're seeing us use here is the fact that the email form in version 7 is now modeless. which allows you to switch between any other open windows at that time. In previous versions, when you click the email button, then you needed to either send or close the form in order to move on or do anything else. Now, say you're in the middle of setting up an email and another member calls, you can open their form, do what you need to do, and then close the form. In fact, if we want to send an email to this member, we can also just drag and drop them into this list, and now that email address goes into the list. So then we're back here at the email. We can send it now, and out it goes, clears the recipient list, and stays open for us to use the form again. By the way, if you want to, you can go to the options and you can select the close on send, and then this form will close whenever you press the send button. I'll leave it unchecked for now. So let's go over the Outlook and take a look. And here's our emails that we sent out. And here's one to that other rep that we added by the drag and drop. And then we see these here. This one's addressed to William, and this shows hi Bill because he has a dear name, a familiar name. Same with Gene here, Gene and Eugene. So it works like that. Well, let's go ahead and close those now. By the way, whenever you close the email form, then open it again, it remembers your last subject, so you have that here. Before we close this form, let's take a quick look at the Options tab over here. There we can add file attachments to the list in here, and those will of course just get sent out with it. And there's a few other options to remove, and also ChamberWare will remember the last exported file from the report screen or some other areas that you can just use this button for. If you hold your mouse over any of these options here, you'll see what they do. There's some explanatory text, and of course over here is for sending a CC email rather than individual emails, and you can send it CC rather than the default blind carbon copy, and so forth. And these will just explain to you what they are. Okay, so let's close this form from here, and let's take a look over at the report screen how we can use that to email.